honestly and truly, the tag team that we really had, I think our most success with would be the Nasty Boys. You know, Knobs and Sags, man. You know, we beat the hell out of each other, and that was the longest 6-month run you can ever imagine with two guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Booker T!
What up?
You can do better than that. So nice to have you. Welcome back.
Oh, man, glad to be back. It's awesome. It's been having a great time, actually, here in Pittsburgh. Great fans. Give you guys a hand of applause. Give you guys a round of applause.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
So I just got a couple questions for you, then we'll get to some audience questions.
Do it!
Yeah. How'd you get started in wrestling, and did you have any mentors early on?
Ron Simmons. He was a big mentor for me when I got into WCW. But just getting into wrestling, it was by accident. My brother actually loved wrestling. He always wanted to be a professional wrestler. And he knew a guy by the name of Ivan Putski opening a wrestling school, and he asked me if I wanted to join. I didn't have the money to join the wrestling school, but the guy that I was working for, his name is Bruce Kasarch, he actually sponsored me to go to the wrestling school, and it was $3,000, and it was an 8-week course. And thank God for Bruce Kasarch, because if it wasn't for him, probably wouldn't be here talking to you guys.
It's amazing. So, working with younger wrestlers, what advice do you give them?
Working with younger wrestlers, just working with young people in general, I tell them to find a good trainer. Say, for instance, for me, I've been working with Roxanne Perez. You guys know Roxanne Perez? She's in NXT. She started with me when she was 16 years old. And she's 22 years old now, and she's like a household name worldwide. And I just think it's due to the way she started. I tell my students that you don't have to actually know how to wrestle. You just have to act like you know how to wrestle. Okay? And they normally pick it up from there.
So what were some of your favorite matches?
Oh, man, we got one guy that's here at the con, Christian Cage. Man, him and I, we've had so many great times in the ring, on television, on house shows. Rey Mysterio, of course, one of my favorite guys to have gotten in the ring and performed with. But I tell you, I've had so much fun working with so many talent in the business, and it's hard to just pick one or two. It really is.
Well then, is there any wrestler you, past or present, you haven't gotten the ring with but wish you would have had the chance?
The only guy that I didn't get a chance to really work from a one-on-one perspective, and I always thought he was top-notch, perhaps, the best that ever did it, and that's Shawn Michaels. I never got a chance to work with Shawn Michaels in a one-on-one setting. We did tag matches and stuff like that, but I always thought, man, what great magic him and I could have really had in the ring, as well as people always considered Shawn Michaels to be the best, so I just wanted to test myself against truly one of the best in the business.
And where'd your catchphrase come from? Can you dig it, sucker?
Can you dig it, sucker? It's crazy. A lot of people think that Can You Dig It came from the movie The Warriors.
Yeah.
But it came from Shaft. The Isaac Hayes song, Can You Dig It? They say that cat Shaft is a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
But we can dig it, you know what I mean? So that's where that came from, yeah.
And I got just a couple more questions and we'll get to the audience. Your workout routine, do you still have a workout routine and has it changed over the years?
You know what, my workout routine pretty much has stayed the same over the years. I just turned 59 March 1st. And I'm still in the gym on a regular basis, 4 to 5 days a week. Right now I'm on this 30-day ab workout. I'm on like day 5, and I'm just trying to still stay at it, because with Father Time, if you ain't running, it'll catch up with you real quick. So I say, of course, no man beats Father Time, but he's gonna have to catch up with me because I'm running hard.
Do you have any injuries from past wrestling matches? Usually there's a laundry list of injuries. What?
Most guys that's been in the business for, 20 plus years, I wrestled, 5 years without pretty much taking a break. But I think what helped me was I never played sports. I never played football. I never played basketball. I didn't run track. First time I got hit was I was 25 years old and I was in a wrestling ring. But like I said, at 59, I don't have I haven't had any major surgeries. I don't have any metal. I don't have replacement knees or shoulders or anything like that. I can still pop lock and, do some of my old moves from back in the day. Spin a Rooney, that's about a 3 to 5 hour warm up if you can wait.
And before we get to their questions, how did you get to be a commentator? How did that all fall together?
It's kind of stupid, but not having a journalism background or anything like that, I never saw myself doing commentary or radio or anything like that. But what I used to do was, we used to be on the road. It could be house shows, it could be overseas tours. It would always be a little monitor, and we'd be watching the guys wrestle. And I would always do commentary in the back for the boys. And I would change the guys' names. I would change their move set, you know what I mean, and call it something else. And I would just be making up something, acting stupid. But along the way, the higher up, the upper echelon saw that it may be something that I could do. And one day they just asked me, hey, Book, you want to try commentating? I was like, man, what are you talking about? I can't do that. Not realizing I had been doing it forever. And but I tell you, doing the commentary, for me, is just like wrestling. I prepare diligently. I write down, I study, I got so many notes, but I love doing it. It's a passion of mine. And working in NXT, opposed to working on Raw or SmackDown, I get so much more pleasure out of that because the young guys, they're going to make mistakes and I can actually call the mistake, on television, and it doesn't make them look bad. Just let them know that they got to go back and work a little bit harder. So I'm loving my spot. I'm living my best life right now. I really am.
That is awesome. Well, let's see if we can get some questions.
Open it up, man.
Let's open it up.
I got 2 questions. What was your favorite memory in WCW? And if you could face one of the current wrestlers nowadays in any promotion, who would you face?
Of course, my favorite memory in WCW will be winning the World Heavyweight Championship the first time and the last time, closing the company down. That was a history-making moment for me. As far as today's wrestler, who would I want to get in the ring with? It would have to be Roman Reigns. And the reason I say Roman is because a lot of times, when you're looking at it from, say, from your guys' perspective, you just see Roman as the wrestler. When I look at Roman, I look at it from a different perspective. I look at the guys that Roman has wrestled before. And every guy that Roman has wrestled has had their best match. And it's not because of them. It's because of Roman. That's how good that guy really, truly is. He's a generational talent. And it's like the wind. You can feel it, but you can't see it, but you know it's there. That's Roman Reigns. Don't use that quote.
Hi, Booker T. Tony here.
Nice and close, please.
Yeah, anyway, of all the wrestlers, I'm glad that you're still staying with the organization because I've been a big fan of yours. Now, I know you're involved with the museum that they're getting, which is a really good thing to credit to you guys. You know what I mean? You should have that honor. Who, of all the wrestlers, who are your favorite one that you like to see to get in there?
Say the last part again.
Of all the wrestlers, who would you like to actually go after, to have their memorabilia in the museum?
In the museum?
Yeah, whose memorabilia would you like to see?
Oh, memorabilia. Honestly, coming off of this Hall of Fame, I would really love to see some Thunderbolt Patterson memorabilia. Just because Thunderbolt, he He was the guy that paved the way for me. Thunderbolt was the guy that was working in the main event in a lot of those towns. A lot of those fans were coming to see Thunderbolt Patterson go out there and do his thing. And in a lot of those towns where Thunderbolt main evented, he couldn't even sleep in the same hotels as a lot of the guys. He had to get on the road and, get to the next town. He might have had to sleep in his car. And I think about guys like that just because of the way I had to come up through the business, and I had it so much easier than a guy like Thunderbolt Patterson. I just think he should be honored in the utmost way, so to see Thunderbolt get his name in there would definitely be great.
Hi, Booker.
What up?
Quick question for you. I know that the wrestlers travel a lot, and one of my favorite things to hear is about road stories. I was wondering if you could share a really funny road story from your time wrestling.
I wasn't the memories for me was the memories for you guys, but the road stories are true. I think the one road story I think I could share with you is, we were in Germany and actually on a flight to Germany, and I fell asleep on the plane. And that's something you don't want to do with the wrestlers, is fall asleep, okay? So I fell asleep, and I woke up. I had a nice suit on, right? And I had a sweater, vest, a shirt, tie, jacket. And when I woke up out of my sleep, I felt something in my jacket. And I felt right here and I felt here, and it was two pieces of cheese, a piece of cheese right here and a piece of cheese right here. So when I opened my vest, the cheese had soaked into my shirt. So it was two big round spots on my shirt. And I realized that all of my fingernails was painted red, okay? And I had shaving cream on the top of my head. And I was so mad. And this is more than 20 years ago. I remember the director's name. His name was Don Sandiford. That's how vividly I remember this in my head. And I turned to Don Sandiford. I said, man, somebody need to do something about this shit. And Don Sandiford looked at me, and all of his fingernails was painted red also. So that's one of my road stories.
What's up, Booker? Two quick questions. Did you enjoy your time with Harlem Heat in the
down the middle?
Okay.
Oh. Did you enjoy your time in the tag team world with Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat, or did you enjoy your time more as on your path to an individual title? And also, what was the hardest part of working for Vince McMahon?
As far as the tag team picture, I love working with my brother, you know what I mean? But I loved working with all my tag team partners, Goldust, Tess, RVD, Scott Steiner. Yeah, we all been champions. We were all champions together, which was really, really cool at the same time. But as far as working for Vince, what's the hardest part about working for Vince McMahon? You're just being on time, showing up and doing your part, doing the work. I always had a good relationship with Vince and working for the company. Anything that was asked of me to do, I didn't think it was outside of the boundaries of sports and entertainment or anything like that. But no, it wasn't. I've had the easiest ride one could ever imagine, and I wouldn't change it for anything other than I got like 5 years left on my contract, and I say, guys, if y'all want, y'all could just send me home and pay me, and I'll take it. Just let me work from home, But nah, I've had a great time from WWF all the way to WWE. It's been a hell of a run.
Well, I got a question real quick.
Yeah.
You mentioned Thunderbolt Patterson. Who were some of the other wrestlers as you were growing up, as a little kid, you watched that you thought were the greatest?
Well, I tell you, we didn't get in Houston. I live in Houston. And in Houston, we didn't get WWE TV for many, many years, almost until the late 80s. So I grew up watching Superstar Billy Graham, he used to come through town every now and then, but, the Rat Pack, Ted DiBiase, there again, Junkyard Dog, Tony Atlas. There's one guy, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but he was a very, very famous Mexican wrestler in Houston, and his name was Super Sock Jose Lothario, and I grew up on him. He was our Hulk Hogan back in the day. He was our Ric Flair in Houston, Jose Lothario. So those are the guys I grew up watching.
Did you ever see live wrestling as a kid?
Oh yeah, my brother and I, we used to go down to Houston wrestling and watch it every now and then, but it wasn't something I did all the time. But I grew up admiring a guy by the name of Paul Bosch, and he was the promoter of Houston wrestling. He wrestled in the 70s and the 80s, but he did so much for young people, kids. He used to be a part of this group called the PABA, the Progressive Amateur Boxing Association. And he used to always say, a kid can't open a knife or fire a gun with boxing gloves on. So I love wrestling, and actually, this ring is 60 years old, and it belonged to Paul Bosch. This was Paul Bosch's ring. Passed away in 1989, and I'm Paul Bosch now. I represent Paul Bosch in Houston, Texas.
I'm glad I asked. Let's get back to the audience questions.
I got a question, Booker. Who was your favorite wrestler to wrestle back in the day?
That's a no-brainer. God rest his soul, him and his family. But Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit was the guy who brought it out of me, the guy who made me see that I could main headline wrestling. And he was the guy that let me see how good perhaps I could possibly be at, because I really truly didn't know. But working with Chris Benoit, the Best of 7 series, matches that I really don't get a chance to talk about just because of the situation. But those were the best matches in my wrestling career, and it's something that I would never be able to top.
All right.
Hey, Booker.
Go ahead.
So who do you feel brought out the best between you and your brother with Harlem Heat? Who are your best opponents?
Man, that's an easy one right there. Of course, the Steiner brothers, they brought it out of us. But honestly and truly, the tag team that we really had, I think our most success with will be the Nasty Boys. Knobs and Sags, man. We beat the hell out of each other, and that was the longest 6-month run you can ever imagine with two guys. Steiner brothers there again, working in Sturgis. That was like one of the highlights of our careers. And the reason I think it was the highlight of our careers because we were like in Sturgis, South Dakota at a bikers rally, and we were the only 2 black guys in Sturgis. But what a night, man, what a night. We almost started a riot at Hog Wild. So Steiner brothers as well as Nasty Boys.
Okay, question over there.
Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
What's your best story about Sister Sherry?
Oh man, probably my best story about Sister Sherry is almost getting arrested in one of the cities because she knocked the crap out of a fan. She hit a fan so hard. They were actually, like, the police had to escort us out of the building. But I think one of the best stories about Sherry Martel would be we was having a tag match, and we was wrestling. I can't remember who the other guy was, but I remember one of the guys was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And I remember in the match, I brought Hacksaw Jim Duggan over to Sherry Martel, and Sherry slapped him so hard, he just stopped selling. Selling means acting like he's getting beat up. And he wanted to kill me or Sherry Martel. But that was probably be the story about Sherry Martel. Somebody got it?
First off,
don't worry about it.
All hail King Booker.
King of the world!
We got to talk about this one. This is regarding the supermarket segment with Stone Cold. How much of that was scripted and how much of it was improvised?
Well, the Stone Cold, I beat the hell out of Stone Cold in that grocery store. Let's just get that out there. You know what? I always think about that. I always think about how that scene would be shot today. If that scene was shot today, it would probably be four camera shoot. It would probably be a rehearsal that morning. It would probably be a script, laid out to go exactly this way, turn here, go this way, turn, go. But for Steve and I, it was all pretty much improv. We didn't walk through the building or anything like that. I trusted Steve. Steve trusted me. Everything that came out of Steve Austin's mouth, it was all ad-lib. None of that was written. Price check on a jackass. All of that stuff, like, how the hell did he think all this stuff? It's amore, stupid, you know what I mean? But Steve and I, we did not think that we were making history or anything like that. We were just going out and having some fun and doing our job, and hopefully that you guys would have a memory from it, and we'll talk about it one day, but never in a million years we would have ever thought that would be on WWE's top 10 moments every year. Every year, that's been one of the top 10 moments. So we did our job, and we appreciate you guys for loving it.
Great. You want to get one more question? And we have somebody checking out what's going on with the bullhorn.
Oh, I ain't worried about that, man.
Booker
They working.
T, over here. Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm old school when it comes to wrestling, so I'm a little bit out of date. But with your matches that you've had in the past, is there anyone that you haven't fought, like Undertaker, Rock, anyone like that?
As far as matches in the past, as far as favorite, what was the portion? I think I missed a portion of that question.
Okay, so what it was is that maybe not a favorite, but are there matches that you haven't done? Like with Undertaker, Rock. You said Shawn Michaels was one. What other stars have you not fought?
Oh, okay. You know what? That's crazy. I never wrestled Hogan one-on-one, even though everybody's heard about the Emperor's moment when I was coming for him. Never happened. But as far as guys on my bucket list, it haven't been that many guys. I wrestled just about everybody that had come along in the business that was famous, popular, from Bret Hart to Rick Martel to like Mr. Perfect. The Road Warriors. I got a chance to wrestle with all of those guys. Sting, even got a chance to tag team with Sting against the Road Warriors. So I've gotten a chance to wrestle with just about every major star in the business that came up in my era. This new era, of course, I want to stay away from those guys. They're pretty dangerous, pretty reckless.
Well, thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you,
Booker
guys.
T, give it up. Going to be headed to his table, do some signing, get some photographs. Thank you so much. I think they dug it.
Now can you dig that sucker? And I'm out.
This is Bo Billingsley, and you're watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like and subscribe, but more importantly, have fun and follow your fandom.